Welcome back to Standard Living, everybody. Today I got something really cool to show to you that just came in from Norwood. We just got the lap siding and shingle jig from Norwood. But not only one, we got two sets. Follow along and I'll show you how we put this contraption together and how it works on the sawmill. We have got a storm brewing in the background. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get rid of all this paper. These things are pretty robust, heavily built. Looks like we're about to get a little storm, and we definitely need it. Got our little instruction manual. Here's some exploded views. I've heard people complain about the instruction manuals on this thing, but this thing can't be that complicated. I mean, you can honestly look at the pictures and see how it goes together. We're going to put it together with what we have here, and I don't think we're going to have a problem. We're going to separate all our parts. Got a bag of all your hardware. Oh, and had a bag of all hardware. Alright, so each set of these is a set. So it's two jigs, just like that. I guess they connect together to operate. I think there's only one handle on these, is for what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, let's get started with this. Let me grab some tools. Grab a few Allen wrenches and some sockets. Where do we start here? We're going to do one set at a time, I assume, so I'll set that there. Separate them all. So let's see what we got. My bag, I busted it open picking it up, so. Oh, good. It's got another bag of the bolts. That way nothing gets lost and mixed up. I think it screws down to a board, so you can pretty much clamp it to any kind of mill. This is one of those things, I don't think it has to be a Norwood sawmill. The way it looks, you basically mount these to you screw it down to a board, and you'd clamp that board into the sawmill. So I guess any kind of mill can use this, not just Norwood. I've seen a lot of people do DIY kits and build these on their own, but I guess it's not that complicated. But this really simplifies it here, versus building something that may or may not work. So I'm going to go ahead and get the camera a little closer. I think that'll be a little better. If not, you just let me know. Alright, so looking at the instructions, looks like this is where we start. Yeah, it looks like it's just, I mean, there's decent instructions here. It's nothing bad. I don't know what people are complaining about. I'm not probably going to read hardly any of this, because I mean, like I said, it's pretty simple. It's not that many parts. There's quite a few parts, but nothing you can't look at a picture and figure out. Where, man, we can figure it out. Alright, so I guess first of all, we need some bolts. And we'll just dump these out on the table here. Oh, there's some little... Okay, don't dump them out on the table because there are some little Allen set screws. Those little set screws are pretty small and they will roll off on you, like mine just tried to do a couple of times. Oh no, I just lost one. Let me go and find that. Oh, it's really going to blend in down here in these leaves. And let's see, here it is. Okay, we found that. Dang, almost being a little magnetic tray. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to sit... That will not sit flat. We're going to set this piece flat here since it has these little valleys in it. And we're going to put all our little set screws. Actually, let's put everything in this little valley here. And then just slide it around like a tool tray, as long as we don't pick it up. And everything will stay right here on the table. Alright, cool. Now nothing will get lost. Nothing will roll off on us. There. That thunder is rolling in. We better hurry up. Alright, so it looks like our first rule of business here is the handle. Looks like we're taking one of these and we're going to make those together. Those look like panhead screws or panhead bolts. So this is going to slide through this piece here. This way. Simple enough. Alright, we got two cams. These little cams will take a set screw. So this gets two of the little cams. Each one of those will get a set screw. Alright, so now that's in. Okay, so we centered this up about midway, looks like. let's turn these up. We'll adjust this later if we have to, but just to make sure both of these are the same, I'm just going to start off by turning both of these straight up. These little flat parts on them, I'm just going to turn those straight up so they align with each other. And I assume we push these all the way to the outside. It keeps this bar stabilized in the center. I say we can adjust all this once we get a little further into it, I guess. We're just doing it my way. Now, the handle's adjustable, so I guess it really doesn't matter if it's on right now or not. We'll just put it on however we need to put it on afterwards. All right, now this has got a lever. This piece here, the collar will turn to the inside, looks like. Oh, you know what? The wheel goes on this too, so let's get a wheel on here. Nylock nut goes on here, 11mm. We'll go ahead and snug that down. Oh gosh, that sun's coming out now. I thought it was about to rain, but so we get a little wind, then a little heat. All right, this is gonna go on like this. I'm guessing these have to turn a certain way. So I guess that handle flips this piece up and these cams go up, and this will probably go up with it. Let's put a screw in there. I'm probably putting it together all wrong, but we're gonna find out. So this thing will do two operations. I think what it does, it tilts this way, and then the plate, these cams right here, lift it up. So the handle goes in two different directions. This is like your tilt, lap siding tilt, and then your cam going up. So that's kind of how that works. Fancy handle there. Okay, so you got to use the Allen head on this to tighten it down apparently. Then your Allen wrench goes in there to hold it. And we'll just snug that down. There. Alright, so this will go here. Hope you can see this okay. Alright, so yeah, this is all adjustable. We'll put a, let's see which way these bolts go through. We don't want them to be in the way of anything. Okay, so they go in from the inside out this way, obviously, because I wouldn't be able to get on those nuts probably. Snug that down. I need my 1/4 inch stuff for this, I believe. It has a pan head, so you don't have to hold it on the back side really. And I'll be able to adjust that later if I need to. I'm gonna bring this handle up for now. But assume it goes down because I think you're gonna be sawing across the top of this and you don't want to hit it. So it kind of works like that. The handle's obviously gonna go in the downward position because your sawmill is gonna run across this way, I guess. So you don't want your handle up. Looks like we're installing this back shaft here. That'll be this. Looks like it's gonna go through here. There's also this piece is going to attach here. We'll go ahead and attach that. That looks like it's got a washer. I assume that's these little nylon washers here. Go right there between. Create less friction. And a nylock on the end. So this is the bar that's going to connect the second one. So this handle works both of them at the same time. And we don't want to tighten this one too much. We just want it enough where it's locked in but still works. And the nylock's working. So this shaft here, looks like we get a collar on the ends, on both ends. Actually, this is going to slide through that as well. So first of all, we need to put this up here. And we'll slide this into there. There we go. This actual plate here has collars on it as well. We have collars on the inside here with set screws. So we'll have to put that on as well. But there's collars that go on the outside. It'll be these two collars here, or two of these collars. We'll go ahead and install these first. We'll just center it up. This will keep that shaft from sliding out. All right, so I kind of get it now. Like this comes up and raises this. That'll be for your shingles. So that'll raise up with these cams and it'll sit on this flat part at the top. All right, simple enough, very simple design. So there's two different size set screws here. These pieces here, the collar's in there. They take the larger set screw. So we're gonna center this up. eyeball it. So yeah, that's it right there. Cool little contraption. So you get the idea already. The handle goes down to kick them over sideways, and like I said, this will attach to the other one when I get it done. It'll lift these over. That's your lap siding. Come back down, cut, raise it over the side, cut. So this is for your lap siding. This way it leans it over, you make a cut, and you drop it back down, you make another cut. So it cuts those wedges for your lap siding. And every cut you change to a different position. Now for your shingles, these go up. I don't know if you can see this plate raising or lowering from that angle there, but this will raise and lower. And I guess you'd use like an 18-inch cant for each one of your shingles. So yeah, there you go. Pretty simple design, pretty cool. You got your spikes here on the side right here, which holds your cants in. I gotta put the clamp on here. Let's finish this thing out though. Let's see what else we gotta do. So we got everything pretty much here installed. Yeah, it's really not much to it, and I guess that's honestly that's it, other than our clamp. That'll be these larger bolts, and they will go in right here. And I guess this clamp will be adjustable as well. That'll be able to slide in and out. We'll go ahead and stick it in there. I'll show you. So these are your clamp screws right here, and they have a little spike on the end here. Basically your cant's going to go up against these spikes, wedge into here, and you just tighten it up like this. So this looks like it's adjustable as well for smaller pieces. We're going to leave it all with it outside because I assume we're going to be doing like 8-inch. I don't know how wide this thing will hold. Probably 8-inch pieces, 8-inch cants. So let me get the right size. It's like a 9/16, or maybe a 14mm. I don't know if this thing's metric or what. We'll go ahead and snug those down. Well, I thought we were about to get a storm. It was lightning. It was thundering. The wind started blowing. The wind's still blowing a little bit, but it looks like the sun's back out now and it's starting to get hot again. It's definitely summer is here. Bonnie's working on flower beds. Actually planting boxes, not flower beds. She's planting some tomatoes and peppers and things today. We're doing a little different this year. I'm probably still going to plow that garden and plant some corn in it, but nothing other than that, I don't think. So you get the gist of it here. We got the screw down. I'll turn it around so you can see the inside here. So this shaft runs through. I got one set screw in this collar because that's all it really needs anyway. It keeps it in place. We got the little collars on the outside of this shaft. Got this shaft with the cams. Now we'll have to reposition this handle. I know I will, because see those cams move up and down? The lobes come up to the flat here, and that's where this will sit. Cool little device, very simple. I'm going to assemble this other one, and I'll probably do it in speed motion. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this handle down. There, that handle is down right now. One more thing I forgot about, I just saw. We have the feet, these pieces right here. So this will get 2 of those and 2 of these on each one. We'll go ahead and get those installed. So these bolt down. So one of these has a single screw. That's going to bolt on this front here, and it's going to hinge on top of these. So the whole thing's going to tilt and hinge right here on that bolt. And I already see one thing that's not going to work right. But these don't bolt down. These come up in the air because that's the side that tilts. This side is the side that bolts down. But you cannot bolt it if you go this way. There's no way to get screws in there. However, we're going to turn it out like this. The instructions show to put it in like this, but you can't get the screws in there, so we're going to turn it like this because it's not going to get in the way of anything. These things are going to be spaced out pretty far apart, probably 24 inches apart, I guess. And it has to hinge on these, and you have to be able to put screws through this. Unless you screw this down first and then screw it in, but that's kind of silly. So we're going to do it this way. This piece going outwards. I'll turn the other one inwards because it doesn't screw down. But this one right here, we're going to leave these outwards instead of inwards. Yeah, if you look at the instructions here, it shows them going underneath. And if it goes underneath here, there's no way to put screws in. These aren't going to protrude or be in the way of anything else, so it's perfectly fine the way this is right here. So just remember that, make note of that. If you get one of these and you're confused about that, do it this way. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but looks like it'll work to me. You don't want to tighten these down all the way either, I assume, because this whole mechanism is going to hinge on these brackets here. So I'm going to snug them till they're tight and then back them up half around like that. So your whole mechanism is going to hinge on those pieces. That piece is going to screw down to your board. So yeah, there's no way to turn that inward to make that work. Now these right here, I guess it don't really matter. We can put those inwards. It shows putting the bolts in this way. It's just the way I'm doing it. You don't have to do it this way. You can go per the instructions. I'm just doing it this way because I don't want to have to stick a ratchet on the inside here. That bar is going to be in the way. So I'm technically being lazy. Now these right here can be tightened all the way because this piece does not move. All it is a foot. Basically when this thing comes back down and touches the board, it's locked down too. That's all it does. It's just a foot. This is the one that hinges. So this is like a foot or stand, and this is the hinge piece. I'll get this other one on here and then we'll demonstrate what I'm talking about. You really can't screw this up. You might be able to put it together wrong a few times, but eventually you'll get it right. But obviously there's nothing really complicated about it. And again, this piece here, it's the same way. If you go in this direction, you won't be able to put screws in it. So we are turning it this direction. So we're going to turn it this way. And again, I'm pushing this bolt in from the inside. The instructions show it coming in from the outside. You do it however you want to do it. But I know it's not going to be in the way of anything because I can kind of see how this thing is put together. And oh, my microphone's magnetized to the, check that out. It came off of me. The microphone's, dang, that's a good magnet. Doggone. Put my mic back on. This thing stole my mic. Again, this one right here, we're just going to snug it down till it's tight. And then 1/2 turn off so it hinges correctly. And now, if you want to see how that works, let me get the handle the right way. Oh, I can't because the handle's down now. Now these hinge. They hinge on these pieces that are bolted down. Simple as that. Simple. We got one together. Yay. All right, let's throw the rest of them together. I'm going to do that on time lapse. And I'll catch you back when I'm done with it. We don't want this thing to go past that point right there. So we'll put this in place. Now, locks it into position. So now this piece is finally complete. I will work on the others and I'm not slow. Alright, that's all 4 of those together. I'm pretty excited about this thing. We're going to get these on the truck and go down and see if we can find a board to mount these to. So I found this 2x12 board, had it thrown over here in my stack. Got quite a few boards over there. Initially I was looking for a nice white oak piece, but I didn't have anything very wide. But I think this is going to work out good. What I'm going to do is throw this on the sawmill. I'm going to clamp it down, and I'll probably make one pass over the top of it just to make sure it's flat and smooth with the sawmill, and so everything sits flat and level. As you can see, we got rained out yesterday evening. I tried to get down here to the mill. I was trying to race that weather. We thought we were going to get pounded yesterday evening, and the sun came back out, and it got sunny for a little while, and then all of a sudden the bottom fell out. We really needed it though. We needed it bad, but we probably got a month's worth of rain in a few hours, and then it rained all last night. So quite a bit of rain down here, and it's quite a bit muddier than it was yesterday out here. But we're back at the sawmill. It's not raining today. It's supposed to rain a little bit later, so we're going to try to hurry up and get this done. But we got our siding jigs all together. I got them on the back of the truck now. Very important that we get a straight board, a good solid straight board to mount these to, because we don't want these things being wavy or crooked or whatever else on top of this jig. So we don't want this jig to be all crooked and stuff on the sawmill. But I just found a board I think it's going to work perfect. I might throw it on the sawmill and shave the top off just to make sure it's nice and flat. Then we're going to demonstrate how this thing works, and I'm excited. And I know quite a few of you have been asking, where's that sawmill shed build? We're trying to get to it. We've just been so busy lately that we hadn't had a minute to do anything else. I got to get that saw sharpening shed finished up first. And oh, there's the sun popped out for a minute. But I know it's going to rain soon, so. But right now we are cleared out of orders. We don't have any wood sitting on the ground. Everything was picked up this week. We got to start working on some of these other orders to get them finished out. But right now we're about to make some siding. And I can't wait to make some of these shingles, because this saw sharpening shed that we're building here, I was going to do board and batten siding on it, but now I think I'm going to use lap siding on the bottom, like wainscoting, and then I'm going to do shingles up top from that wainscoting up. I think it'll look unique. I think it'll look really cool, and it will be a selling point for customers wanting siding stuff, so they can kind of see it in action. I think this jig is really going to open up some opportunities for different type of siding, because we do a lot of board and batten siding already. This beveled lap siding is really going to change things, and being able to do those shingles are going to change things too. So it's going to be a great upgrade and a great option to offer people. It's going to be a couple of unique products that no one else around here is offering, and I think it's going to be a really good asset to the sawmill. So let's get this board on the sawmill, flatten it down, and get those jigs mounted to it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get those jigs, and we'll start mounting them up, and we'll go ahead and mount all four on here. They just have some wood screws that go into this and screw it down, but we want to make sure the handles drop between the bunks here, and we have sufficient spacing between each one of these jigs. So I definitely want one with the handle on the front side, that way I can easily grab it and flip it over. So I think what I'm going to do is, I know when I do shingles, they're going to be 18-inch blocks. So let's kind of gauge it off of 18-inch blocks, I guess you'd say. And I hope that's just the wind knocking the rain out of the leaves and the trees. But getting a little rain right now. Perfect. All right, now we're going to slide this one together. Closer. Perfect. See, that'll be fine. I can probably go closer. Let's do that just a little bit. If it's in the way later, we'll move it. But like I say, we're just cutting those shingles now. So I think I have a can already set up over there I can use for this. So we took that extension out that was in the center, so they're closer together now. It doesn't really matter with this, because I've got, like I said, we got two sets here, so we'll have plenty of room for long cants. So it's not an issue when you have two sets. I'm just going to put one screw in each one of these legs to start. So this should work fine, just like this. We'll double check and make sure everything still works properly. Make sure all the flats are up like they are. That's perfect. That's one set on there. Let's get this other set tied down real quick. I'm going to bring those a little closer to these right here. So like I said, we will be changing out this board. We're not going to make this a permanent board here, because I want to use like a piece of good piece of white oak, something super solid. And you got to remember to keep these handles to where they are not hitting your bunks. So we're actually going to back this up a little bit to right here. I think it would have been nice if I had a piece of wood. I should have grabbed the 4x4 or something just to run across that edge to make sure everything's lined up. But like I said, we've got weather on the way, and I think it's closing in pretty close. The power's already been blinking at the house. I went to eat a minute ago, and the power was kind of on and off. So we're gonna try to hurry up and get this done and get something cut for you guys before it gets here. Hopefully we can beat that rain. If not, we may have to postpone finishing this video, which I do not want to do. I want to get it loaded for you guys today, which is Saturday. I know that's not even spacing from the other side here. I'm going to go ahead and screw these down, this piece, because I've got it lined up where I want it. Every time I move it, I mess it up. All right, everything's locked into place. We did take out these extensions, so I'm going to put them back in the truck where we can use them later if we need to. I think they're going to be key to tying these two together. We'll probably have to bring those closer together though. But for now, we're going to work it like this. Get all my screws. Adjust these out so we can drop a can on here. So here's what we got so far here. We got it mounted down to the board. We got the board mounted to the sawmill. Those handles, by the way, those handles need to go down, and you need to make sure they're not in the way of the bunks. This one's a little close right here, but I do have enough room still to move it. Just barely clears, but it'll be fine. We ended up taking the center support out. We brought these closer together. We do have 4 of these. We have 2 sets of them actually, so I feel like it's not that bad. Now I'm gonna have to figure out a way to connect these centers so all of them can work off one handle. But for right now, we're just doing some shingles, so this will work fine. Yeah, it looks pretty good so far. That board's pretty flat. We are going to change that out to a piece of white oak. We're going to make sure it's 12 inches wide instead of 11.5 like this one is. But because you see those wheels right there, just barely make it onto the board. We're not doing lap siding right now. It'll still work like this because we're all the way to the edge on that side. I only put 1 bolt in each one of these legs. This is a tilting leg right here. I only put 1 bolt because I'm going to change this board out. This pine's probably going to end up rotting. And honestly, I don't think I can pick this whole thing up at one time anyway. So unless I do it with a bobcat, I think we're just going to have to take these off every time we use them, which is not a big deal either, because we'll just keep them kind of put together and throw them in here when we get ready to use them. But I am going to change this out to a piece of nice, thick white oak that's super straight. I'll run it through a planer and all and make sure it's completely flat and square. And what we'll end up doing is setting it up where we can pick it up with a bobcat. And we're going to just put it in here out of the way when we're not using it. So once I get my little roof on there, it'll be out of the weather. But yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about using this. I'm ready to see what it'll do. We're still fighting weather. We got a storm on the way. So I'm going to get a cant, drop it on here, and then we'll cut it down to size and make some shingles. So let's get that done right now before that rain gets here. All right, Paul, you shouldn't feel so bad now. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I don't think there's no real easy way to do this. I don't think I can pick this up either. Oh, it's not terrible. So I'm glad we didn't get the white oak. This is a piece of pine. I think it's a 9x9 or something. Yeah, we got to figure out a better way to do that. That is definitely not. I should have just pulled up to it and slid it off by hand. It's pretty dried out pine cant here. But even though it's dry, it's still pretty heavy. I should have just went ahead and chopped this up into the little pieces I need for the shingles. All right. Now, to do less stupid things. All right, we got that on there. Let's get it positioned how we want it. I got to cut this end off. We're going to cut this into 18-inch sections. So we know we want 18-inch blocks. I think that's right. If you guys know better than I do, because you probably do if you know anything about this stuff, if you know better than I do what size shingles, as far as the length of these blocks need to be, I assume 18 inches. I may be wrong. It could be 24 inches. We're just going to do 18 for now. We're going to block these off 18 inches. I know they don't have to be perfect to be shingles, but we don't want them to be like way off. So we're going to do 18 inches. That'd be 4 of them. Let's go ahead and mark this all the way down. I know I got to cut this end off anyway, because it is nasty. We got 6 blocks of 18-inch blocks. That made no sense. We've got 6 18-inch blocks. I need my little square, but we're not going to use a square right now. Actually, it's right here. let me use the square. We're gonna mark these off 18 inches. Hopefully our chainsaw, our CC saw has enough juice. I'll loosen that back up because I'll need to slide this. All right. It's probably about time to charge the battery on our little 16-inch CC saw. I've had a couple of months now. Still haven't charged the battery yet. Let's see. But we got 3 bars, so I'm not charging it. It doesn't get used enough to really kill the battery down here because I'm just doing stuff like this. But it comes in great for that kind of stuff. All right. All right. Oh, look how tight grained that stuff is. That's pretty. Oh, leave it to the side for later. Look how tight grained that is. Wow, that's insane. We'll just center these up on here. So let's test it out. Doesn't seem like a lot of tilt, but it's there. And maybe it doesn't require a whole lot of tilt. Now these are 9x9 blocks, 18 inches long. This is my first time doing this. Maybe I need to read the instructions a little bit. But this is how it's sitting so far. So I would like to tie all those together. But for now, for this demonstration, we're gonna do it just like this. All right, let's get a cut out of this. The one thing I am gonna have to figure out is how far down I drop it every cut. I know there's a certain scale you have to go by. I think it's 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up and figure it out. But we're gonna figure it out. This is trial and error. We're gonna figure this thing out. But let me show you what these things do. Here comes the exciting part. Okay, we don't have much time before weather comes. You kind of get the idea of how this works. This thing is going to be a game changer. Now, I do need to replace this board. I need to actually clamp it down because it's shaking really bad. Certain spots, it's really solid where it's clamped, and right here, you get towards these ends where there's no clamps, and right there at the start, it's bounced all over the place. But that's because we have only this one little clamp holding it in place. Everything else seems to work really well. When I first cut into this first one, it vibrates violently because this board is trying to hop up. You can see it right here. Yeah, we got to do something about that. We need a much solider piece of board. It's very important from the start. You use a solid board. I think we're going to use white oak. and we're going to go with like something solid 2 inches thick, just so it's probably go like a 12 by 2 or 2 by 12 by whatever length. I think we'll shorten it up as well, because I think we got too much distance here. And with this mill, I only have one clamp, so with only one dog there, you can't really hold the board solid all the way down. We may get some wood clamps and lock it down on each bunk just to hold it into place. But other than that, that's really my only problem right now, which is not a problem of the device. It's the problem of the way I've got it clamped and put on here. But let me show you what these things look like real quick. If you've never seen shingles, I just want to demonstrate to you what these are and how they work. I'm sure you've seen these on old homes. They used to use these for roofs many years, for many years. Old barns, roofs, siding. When I lived in Hilton Head for years, a lot of old houses there were made with this stuff, ones that were built in like the 70s. Now this is pine. Pine will work just fine for this kind of stuff. This gives you an idea right here. This is something we're going to be able to offer to customers coming up very soon. Actually, we can already do it. I just need to adjust my little board. But yeah, you get the idea there. That's going to be super cool. We're going to do this sawmill sharpening shed. I want to do the siding in that. But yeah, there's our jig. That's our setup. Man, I love it. It's going to be awesome. I wish I had more time today to fool with it and really play with it and tune it in and get it just right, and even cut another board for it. Like I said, I do need to cut me a nice white oak, solid, flat, perfect board for this thing. You can't use crap like I've got here. I thought this was going to be strong enough, but obviously it's not. You see it shaking on there. One thing that kept happening was this game kept falling down. Now I need to adjust that back to my stop here. But what I did was tighten up these hinges right here a little bit and readjust some things, and it's working perfect now, other than the violent shaking, but that's from the actual board not being clamped good. So like I say, we only have that one clamp holding this whole board down, and this thing is 12 foot long. Now I did put some screws in here. I only put one in there to start. I put the second screw in there because I noticed these things were kind of bouncing around as well. So I didn't put one on that one. I ran out. That is the lap siding and shingle jig. That is pretty awesome. This is going to be a game changer, especially because we do siding all the time. We do lots of board and batten stuff. This is going to be awesome being able to offer those cedar shingles, pine shingles, the shake shingles, and the lap siding. Now it's going to be actually two more products we'll be able to offer down here at this sawmill, on top of what we already offer, which is custom sized lumber, custom cut lumber, and board and batten siding, things like that. It just adds to your business. It's a very small investment for what you can make off of it. We've actually already got a customer asking about it, so that one job is going to pay for all of it. I already know that. Those jigs are going to be awesome. They're going to be very beneficial for our sawmill, and I cannot wait to start producing this stuff and selling it. Now these shingles are one of the main things I was excited about doing here. There's a lot of people that want this stuff. Nobody offers this anywhere around here. I know there's very little people who offer it anywhere, I guess, anymore. We're going to reconfigure this and get it set back up the right way. If you guys are interested in this, I'll leave a link below to the Norwood website where you can find these right here for yourself. And if you notice how they're set up, those will work on other sawmills as well, not just the Norwood sawmill. If you can clamp a board to your sawmill, you can use those on it. That's going to do it for today. We got a storm a brewing. It's getting dark behind us there. Luckily it held out so I can finish this video out today, so I can get it posted tonight. Hopefully I get it posted tonight, as long as we don't lose power, because last night power was on and off all night long. Bodding's already up there with the coffee maker brewing coffee in case we lose power. We already got a cup of coffee, and this is going to be it for today. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't already, and we'll see you in the next one.